Hello everyone, and thank you for watching my 208 video tutorial. So this lecture is going to be a code review lecture, and we are going to examine the changes that I have made to the game manager class that now allow us to have these little delays in our game. I will show you what I mean right now. So the tiles move with this little delay. This effect is achieved by using coroutines. So I will exit play mode and I will open my game manager here in the scripts folder. So first I have created this enum called game state that has these states playing game over and waiting for move to end, and I have also introduced a minor change to our input manager, and right now in this update method is going to check if our state equals game state playing, and only then we can control what's happening on our board. If we have any of the other states, so if game is over or we are waiting for a move to end, we cannot control the tiles on our game field anymore. And I have also added a couple of variables to our class game manager. So the first one is a state variable that is of our type game state, and another variable is this public float delay. And I would like to talk about this line that says range in these square brackets. This is actually called an attribute, and because it appears right before our delay variable, we will get to see our delay variable differently in the inspector. So if I go and select our canvas, we can see that in the game manager our delay now has this slider that we can control to select the delay. And if I go back to our game manager and I can comment this line, so I will just add two forward slashes and go to file and hit save. When our scripts load, we will see that the delay will be displayed just like an ordinary float field, so we can just select a number now. So these attributes can be used to easily add some custom features to our inspector, and it is very convenient because we don't have to write a custom editor. And the next variable that I have added is private bool move made, and we already had this variable, but before it was a local variable in our move method. And right now we have made it a class variable because we will use it a bit differently. And I have also created this boolean array that is called line move complete, and I have initialized it with just 4 true values, because now making moves in each row or each column will take some time because of the delays. This array will track if we have finished making a move in all the lines, so these lines might be rows or they might be columns. Let's go and inspect the main change that I have introduced in code. So we will first go to our move method, and here in the move method right now we have this float variable that is called delay, and if delay is greater than 0 I am starting this coroutine that is called the move coroutine, and this coroutine is going to be similar to observer coroutine from a previous lecture. And if our delay is less than or equal to 0, so else, we are just doing everything that we have done previously in our move method. So this is basically the code from our move method before I have added all these modifications. And so if we have this new coroutine called the move coroutine, let's locate where it is in our script. And the first line says state equals game state waiting for move to end. So if we have entered this coroutine, this means that the move has been initiated, but it's not over yet. Then we have the switch statement that switches between our move directions, and it is pretty similar to the switch statements that we have before. And in case of each move direction, we first have this for loop that iterates over our rows or columns, and then it starts the coroutine, move one line up index or down index. These are also the new coroutines that I have created. So if we move, a new coroutine is started for each of our lines, for each of our rows or for each of our columns, so that the moves in our rows or columns are happening with this delay. And because this is a coroutine, and inside of this coroutine we don't have any yield return wait for seconds or yield return null yet, all this code in this switch statement is executed momentarily. So as we enter this coroutine, we are just checking for our move direction, and then for our move direction we initiate moves up index or moves down index depending on our situation for each of our lines, so for each of our rows or for each of our columns. So we now have these 4 different coroutines running that are called either move one line up index coroutine or move one line down index coroutine, and we will look at them a bit later. And after this code is executed, so all the switch statement, it just happened momentarily, and then there are these 4 coroutines running, and to check if all the coroutines are over for all the lines, I am checking the values from this boolean array that I have created in the beginning of this class. So while line move is not complete, at least in one line, there might be a situation when in one line there might be no move available, and in other line there might be a lot of moves and merges. So with this while loop we are waiting until the move is complete in all the lines, and I am saying yield return null. So our move coroutine is similar to the observer coroutine from our coroutine example, and only after all the moves are over we will get to this code that is very similar to the code that we had previously in our move method, but there is one slight difference. We are checking if we cannot move, it means that the game is over, but if we still can move, we are switching the game state to GameState.playing right here. So if you remember, in the beginning of this method we have changed the state to waiting for move to end, and right now if we have got to this code, it means that the wait is over, and the only 2 situations that might happen to us is first the game is over, and second situation we can now control our game again and initiate new moves, so we have to change our state to GameState.playing. And the only thing that we have left to inspect are these methods move one line up index or move one line down index coroutine, and so there they are, and they are really short. And we can see that for coroutines we can also have arguments like for methods, and these coroutines both take 2 arguments. First argument is our line of tiles that might be 1 column or 1 row, and the second argument is this integer index, and the only use that we make of this index is we are modifying this value line move complete. So depending on the index of our row or our column, we are tracking the completeness of this move, and right in the beginning of the coroutine we are setting line move complete to false, and then in this while loop we are calling our methods make one move up index or make one move down index, and the only line that is different from our previous move method is this one that says yield return new wait for seconds, and as an argument for this yield wait for seconds we are using this delay that we can pick with the slider in our Unity editor. So each time we actually get a chance to get into this while loop, it means that we have made an elementary move, and this yield return wait for seconds makes us wait for the time that we have configured in our delay variable. And right in the end of this method, so once all the moves have been made, this while loop is over and we have exited this while loop, we are setting this value of line move complete with our index to true. So once execution of these coroutines for each line will be over, all the values line move complete for all the indexes will return to true, and then we will check them in our move coroutine, and we will break out of this while loop that is waiting for all the moves to end, and then switch to this statement. So thank you for your attention. I hope that these couple of lectures were useful for you, and I understand that coroutines are very hard to master, but they are really great and powerful tools for adding timing to your game, so you can control all the different delays and introduce different intervals or wait for different things to happen. It is definitely worthwhile investing your time into learning coroutines, because I think for this 204.8 game they have introduced a major improvement and the game looks much better with these delays that we have. And to add even more dynamic to our game, in the next lecture we will look at how we can add animations to our tiles. I will show you how to add animations to our tiles in these 2 following cases. First one is when a new tile appears, we will add one type of animation, and the second case, when the 2 tiles merge into one, we will add another type of animation. So thank you for watching and see you in the next video.